road to the Super Bowl is long and pointless. I mean, what do you think about it?
Super Bowl, please, and step on it. Yeah!
I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be.
Welcome to the show. You are one-on-one with Wes the Sports Guy here on YouTube, BitChute, Rumble, and Odyssey, and online all the time at westhesportsguy.com. Make sure you bookmark that site to get all of my social media links, the podcast link, also Coffee Bear and Coffee partnership discount, conveniently located for you at westhesportsguy.com. Make sure you bookmark that site to get all of my recaps, previews, anything and everything to do in the world of sports at westhesportsguy.com. Diving right into it, it is time for my preview of Super Bowl 59 between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles.
You play to win the game, but they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Cannot play with them, cannot win with them, cannot coach with them, can't do it.
Now, to start this one off, this is going to be a rematch of sorts between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. They played each other 2 years ago in Super Bowl 57, which ended up being a very, very good game from start to almost finish. And I'll get to that finish in a little bit later in this preview. But we have the same head coaches for both teams. You have Andy Reid for the Kansas City Chiefs, vying for his fourth Super Bowl championship, all with the Kansas City Chiefs. He's also trying to go for the first three-peat in the Super Bowl era in NFL history. There has been a three-peat not that long ago in NFL history, but then again, it was in the mid to late 60s with the Green Bay Packers, where they won the last NFL championship and the first two Super Bowls in 3 consecutive seasons. So just to put that into perspective, it was a while back, but not as far back as people might think, or it's never happened in NFL history. No, it has happened before. But in the Super Bowl era, this would be the first time that a team has won 3 consecutive Super Bowls. To put that little caveat on there, Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs looking for that three-peat and his fourth Super Bowl overall with the Chiefs. And on the other side, you have Nick Sirianni for the Philadelphia Eagles trying to win his first Super Bowl as a head coach, all being with the Philadelphia Eagles. And they have some very good coordinators as well, especially on the defensive side. You have Vic Fangio being hired as his first year as the defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. That unit has been completely transformed into a top-tier unit, number 2 overall and first against the pass, mind you, for the Philadelphia Eagles this regular season. And with the Kansas City Chiefs, you have another very good defensive coordinator who was a head coach after beating the Tom Brady almost undefeated New England Patriots with that New York Giants team, Steve Spagnuolo. He's won many Super Bowls over his illustrious career as a coordinator. He's still the defensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs with a still very solid unit, one of the top 10 defenses overall, and has been much better against the run than it has been against the pass. It's kind of in the mid, I believe 18th overall against the pass during the regular season for the Chiefs defense, but this is still 2 solid units that are back in this position to win a Super Bowl title. As far as players to watch, you know the usual suspects with the Kansas City Chiefs. You have Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. You have tight end Travis Kelce. Those two combining to be one of the most dynamic duos in NFL history, not just for the regular season performances that they put on, but also in the playoffs. They are just unstoppable, it seems, when the calendar changes over to January and now into February with multiple Super Bowl appearances between those two as teammates. And then with the Kansas City Chiefs, you still have Chris Jones on the defensive line, wreaking havoc wherever he lines up. It doesn't matter if it's at tackle, if it's in one of the end positions. He is a monster. He is hard to contain no matter who goes up against him, which variation of an offensive line. He is a mismatch nightmare. And then you also have cornerback Trent McDuffie, who is turning himself into one of the top-tier shutdown corners, still very young in his career, mind you, for the Kansas City Chiefs, leading the team in passes defended for his position at corner. And not to mention edge rusher George Karlaftis leading the team with 8 sacks during the regular season. He's also had 3 sacks so far in the playoffs for the Chiefs. Him, Chris Jones, lining up wherever he does, that is a very formidable duo on the defensive line at the line of scrimmage for the Chiefs defense. Now, whereas in years past with the Chiefs on offense, yes, you still have Travis Kelce at tight end. He's still going to be a force to be reckoned with. The Chiefs don't have that dynamic receiver like a Tyreek Hill anymore. It's kind of been a mismatch, hodgepodge of no names almost. But this year has been a lot better as a cohesive unit overall. DeAndre Hopkins being acquired in a midseason trade from the Tennessee Titans. He's been a very big difference maker for the Chiefs occasionally, not every single game, but you're expecting him to break out at some point. That could be seen here in this Super Bowl for the Chiefs. Isaiah Pacheco did have a knee injury, missed most of the regular season. He is back. Doesn't seem to be 100% the way he's been playing and the way he's been used by the Chiefs so far. They've been counting on Kareem Hunt to be their workhorse running back, averaging over 4 yards a carry in the playoffs for them so far. But the wild card on offense for the Kansas City Chiefs is going to be their rookie wide receiver, Xavier Worthy, who can be utilized not just out of the receiving end in multiple positions in a slot, outside, wherever he is in that spot as a wide receiver, but he could also be utilized out of the backfield in a lot of jet sweeps, a lot of screen passes. He is a X factor for this Chiefs offense, where the Eagles defense is going to be all hands on deck to try to get after Patrick Mahomes. They're going to have to utilize Xavier Worthy a lot in the short passing game. As for the Eagles, they have multiple players on the defensive line that will get after the quarterback. The top pass rusher they have is Josh Sweat, led the team with 8 sacks during the regular season, but he has a very good array of teammates as well who had at least 4.5 sacks each in Jalen Carter, Milton Williams, and Nolan Smith. Linebacker Zach Bond had an all-pro season coming in as a free agent for the Philadelphia Eagles, by far the biggest surprise in that defense. And then they also had a very good complement in Nakobe Dean, who was having a very good season for the Eagles as well, having a healthy year for the most part. Unfortunately, he suffered a season-ending knee injury in their wildcard game against the Green Bay Packers in this current playoff run. The secondary is certainly a big part of why the Eagles defense is ranked number 1 overall against the pass, with C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Quinion Mitchell, who was the rookie first-round pick corner out of Toledo for the Eagles, and you also have the veteran Darius Slay, all of them defending at least 12 passes during the regular season for the Eagles defense. And then you also, not to mention C.J. Gardner-Johnson, having intercepted 6 passes during the regular season for the Eagles. Also, with him at the safety spot with Gardner-Johnson is Reed Blankenship, who also intercepted 4 passes for the Eagles defense. He's just been a ball-hawking safety for the most part all year for that D. And then rookie Cooper DeJean, also a slot corner for the Philadelphia Eagles. He's been having a very good rookie season, defending 6 passes and recovering 3 fumbles in the process. I know what you're thinking. The Eagles offense, it runs strictly through running back Saquon Barkley, and you would not be wrong because, the proof is in the pudding with what he did, rushing for 2,005 yards during the regular season. He's also added another 442 yards with 5 rushing touchdowns in the playoffs so far for the Eagles. It is just a monster season that, frankly, I haven't seen many people be able to stop Saquon Barkley this year. It's going to be hard-pressed for the Chiefs defense to try to contain Barkley the way things are looking right now, the way the momentum is on that Eagles offense. And lest we forget, the quarterback Jalen Hurts had a okay year by his standards. Obviously not the level that he had 2 years ago where he was almost named the league MVP, if not losing out to Patrick Mahomes that season. But Jalen Hurts is still a threat on the ground, having 14 rushing touchdowns during the regular season. He still also boasts one of the better wide receiver duos in the league with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Not to mention tight end Dallas Goedert is completely healthy and has been a focal point in the passing game for the playoffs so far in the Eagles, leading the team in receptions and yards. And he is also an important blocker in their running scheme with not just Saquon Barkley, but also Jalen Hurts. What will be the key of the game for both teams? Well, with the Kansas City Chiefs, it's going to be the scheming and play calling of Andy Reid. He's going to put Patrick Mahomes in positions where Patrick Mahomes is going to do what he always does. Now, whether it's going to be throwing a deep ball, maybe not so much with the group that he has right now currently, but it's going to be the short passing game. It's going to be the quick RPOs. It's going to be the screen game. It's going to be the short yardage game. It's going to be also scrambling. Lest anybody forgets, Patrick Mahomes will scamper for large gains to extend drives, especially on third down situations. Eagles defense has to be ready for that, and they have to keep him contained in the pocket They cannot let him get loose because he will hurt you in the end by extending those drives that should be ended forcing a punt, whereas Mahomes will just scramble and continue it going forward for a scoring drive of either a field goal or most likely a touchdown. And really it is simple for the Eagles. You give the ball to Saquon Barkley as much as you possibly can. Yes, the Eagles are going to have to contain Patrick Mahomes in order for them to win the game, but it's going to matter a lot more on offense when the Eagles get the ball to see that Saquon Barkley is going to be that home run threat. The Chiefs have to prevent that from happening if they're going to win this game. They cannot let Saquon Barkley get huge gains for either touchdowns or goal-to-go situations on offense for Philly. The Chiefs defense have to prevent Saquon Barkley from beating them. It has to be a Jalen Hurts-led offense if the Chiefs want to have any chance of winning this football game. Who do I think will win in the end? Well, as I teased earlier about what happened 2 years ago at the end of that great game between these two, the Eagles and the Chiefs, we had a phantom pass interference call against the Philadelphia Eagles, which, as you can tell, I'm not an Eagles fan, but I am also a football fan in the sense of if my team's not in the Super Bowl, as you can tell who I'm a fan of, I want to see a great game, not be taken away from a call that should have never been administered in that kind of a situation. Too many judgment calls in this league, too many incidences where you have to scratch your head and wonder what the hell is going on here. I don't want to see that anymore in any games, not just the Super Bowl, but especially one of this magnitude where you're expecting to see history. There's the possibility of it. You're also wanting to see something special in Saquon Barkley. And I don't want to see another call like that ruining the end of a game like it did 2 years ago. With all that said, I believe that the Philadelphia Eagles will stop history from happening. There will not be a three-peat with the Kansas City Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. It will go to the Philadelphia Eagles by a final score of 34-24, where Saquon Barkley will win the MVP award by breaking the Super Bowl rushing record for yards in a game by Timmy Smith of the Washington Redskins back in Super Bowl 22 of 204 yards. Saquon Barkley will surpass that Super Bowl rushing record of 204 yards, winning the MVP award, and thus hoisting the Lombardi Trophy for the second time in Philadelphia Eagles franchise history. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell below to get notified when all the latest videos are posted on this channel, whether it be at YouTube, BitChute, Rumble, or Odyssey. Check me out on X. I am very active there. Find all my social media links at westonsportsguy.com, including the X link, all those channel links, the partnership discount of Coffee Brown Coffee. Good stuff on sale constantly at coffeebrowncoffee.com. You can find that partnership discount link in the description below and also at westonsportsguy.com. I will see you next time and enjoy the Super Bowl.
I feel faithless, wish I could replace this. I need changes, I wanna be the greatest. So I will chase it, I will be courageous.